Human cities. Such things are amazing. I have seen cities from every race that could exist, and while each has its own appeal, they all pale against human cities. Now, human cities come in two types. The planned cities, where it's all laid out before they start, and then the ones that are just built as they grow. I have spent my last few years in several human cities, and each is not only unique in its structure and arrangement, but each city seems to have a personality. And I don't mean the humans act differently, but the city itself seems to be different in how it feels. But that isn't all. Listen and you'll see. There are woven cities, messy things of intertwined rows with dozens of tiny interlocking alleys and walkways. Some you can drive, some you can walk, and some are hidden in buildings where you can walk in one side and walk out the other. These cities always have another path you can take, a small detour that sometimes cuts off 10 minutes, sometimes it adds 20. There are both glittering paths that shine with light and others that are dark and threatening, a network of strings all tangled together. There are web cities that all spread out from one specific place, where everything is built around one big structure like a spaceport. No matter which road you take, you'll eventually end up there. Some are even based around hills, so if you ever get lost you could just walk uphill and find yourself back at the centre. They are all of different scales and sometimes even have their own small webs within them, a man-made spiderweb. There are planned space colonies. They are a big grid with everything laid out nice and neat. There is traffic on every road and people are always walking around with places to be and things to do. It bustled and hummed. It was like an office, all business and work. Everything where it should be, and as it should be, waiting for the next order or deal to come across its desk. The heights of stone and steel, the rains turn to silver, and the sunset turns to gold. A glittering machine that front with life. And human cities don't only have personalities in their buildings, but in how they sound. Each seems to have its own sounds and noise. An unique cornucopia of sounds that tells you just what life is like there. Bustling, calm, measured, or just hectic. Each sings its own song. There are quiet cities where few people talk to one another, or are all on their communicators and all you can hear is the hum of engines and the beeping of their signage. Sometimes the quiet is broken by a horn or someone shouting, but it's normally quiet and everyone is going about doing their own thing. But they're far from silent, as everyone's walking about doing things, so it's still noisy, a cacophony of silence. Then there's wild cities, where between people talking and the engines, you can hear short snippets of nature. Sometimes they're seaside, so you can hear the waves, or sometimes they are filled full of trees, so you can hear birds. They're often full of bits of nature that you never quite expect. A forest of steel and concrete that the wilds have made peace with. Then there's the really noisy ones, where everyone has something to say. People selling things, offering things, buying things, and trying to get others' attention. It's so noisy, it's exciting. There's always someone to talk to, listen to, or just watch. It's never quiet. Even late at night you can hear parties, clubs and bars doing business, or people rushing to get home, or get to work even late at night. A panoply of sound. Then there's the age of human cities. The older a human city, the more secrets it has, but even the newest ones will have a few hidden passages or shortcuts. I don't know what it is with humans, but they love hiding things just so others can discover them. If you ever see a human hiding something, it's probably because they want it found, but not soon. Maybe not even till after they are passed away, but they want it found someday. Cities are just like that, but with hundreds of humans all hiding their own secret paths. There's the newest cities, all shiny and fresh, brand new paint, all the windows as clean as they'll ever be, nothing out of place and nothing looking odd just yet. You can almost feel the disapproving looks as you walk about, the builders and architects grumbling that someone's made a mess of their perfectly laid out city, pristine crystals of knowledge and understanding. There's the ones that aren't quite new, but are not old yet. They've got their own secrets and quirks, side areas that just are left alone but no one knows why, paths that have been closed off but can still be used if you know how. But they've not quite got the deeper secrets, but still have some of the shine of a new city, big buildings and shimmering metal, a forked path awaiting a decision to be made. There are ancient cities that still have ruins from eras long gone, and the houses all look like they belonged in a bygone century. Apparently there was a law that stopped you from changing how they looked because they were so old. The city felt like there was always something hidden. Winding streets and tight alleys that stretched off to other winding streets, felt like a folded puzzle box, with a maze inside just waiting to be explored and for its secrets to be peeled away by the right explorer. I got lost so often, but it was fun. A book of secrets and stories to be read. There are also city colours. Some are common, some are rare. There are even a few cities that have their own unique colour. Some cities mix the colours, but it all depends on what the humans like or want. There are the emerald cities. Humans have made cities that are intermixed with nature, every open space covered in greenery, trees in every garden and along the walkways. Nowhere is without green and life. They are like a forest where someone has planted human buildings as well as trees and grass. Sometimes it's hard to tell where the city ends and the rest of the world begins. Only more fields and bigger roads seem to tell that. A castle of maple, fir and pine. There are the silver cities, all metal and glass, big and imposing, filled with towering buildings and mighty structures, each capable of housing a small village in its own right. Everywhere is built to be as big as possible, with as much volume for the least space as possible, building up and down as far as they can go. You can always find big buildings full of different things, or all dedicated to one thing, but at the same time you might just find a single small building on its own, a fortress of steel. Then there's the cities of red and brown, or sometimes yellow or even white. These cities are built of stone and brick, matching the colour of the ground around them. They are filled with the flavour of the land and the colour people want. They sometimes paint these buildings different colours to show their personality or to look nice. The roofs are always coloured as well, sometimes grey, sometimes red, other times they can be golden, a set of rolling stone hills with their own caps. But the human cities, the fantastic thing about them, is that these aren't all different cities. No. For humans, alchemy is every day as they blend and mix these cities together. They pick and choose what parts they want for where. Sometimes you can find a mighty silver city building next to a section of an emerald city, and while you're there you can hear the wilds. But if you go over one block, you're lost in an ancient city made of white brick, just waiting for you to get lost and stumble into a spiderweb leading to the local park. Human cities are impossible, and I must see them all before I leave their home planet. Because each city is a unique mix, and I am yet to see all that humans can put into a city.